Sands. Congressman Mike Ezell is joining me now from Mississippi's 4th. Congressman, it's great to meet you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me this morning. I really appreciate it.
So the big story right now in Congress is whether or not we're going to have a continuing resolution, or if the government's going to shut down at the end of the week. It looks like the Freedom Caucus is backing a bill, but it's not what a lot of conservatives would like to see out of the deal.
No, you're right. I mean, it's one of those things that we've been doing for quite some time now, as everybody knows. It's not something that we always want to do, but it's kind of necessary. The president is backing this right now, and I think it's about our best option at this point. And I'll be supporting it tonight as we go forward on the bill.
So the bill, as I understand it, would reduce and freeze spending for the next 6 months to allow the president, DOJ, the administration to do their work and eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse. But it's got a lot of the Biden-era spending in this bill still.
Yeah, there's going to be the same spending as we've had last year. There's not going to be any cuts. It's going to be, I guess you'd say, just the same as it was last year. There's a lot of rhetoric out there about all these things that we're going to be losing, and how bad, doom and gloom and all this kind of stuff. But it's going to be just about exactly like it was last year going forward, to try to keep things operating so that we don't shut the government down.
Yeah, so why hasn't there been a better plan? It seems to me, and maybe I've got the timeline wrong, but a year ago we were going to kick the can down the road for 6 months to wait till the election, and then after the election, let's push this to March after the inauguration. Now it's March. We're going to push it down the line another 6 months. Why hasn't there been a plan in the House Republicans to have a better spending bill here?
Well, I think it's the leadership has come forward with this thing, and I have to kind of follow along there. It's most of the time, not always, but I'm with you. I'd rather us get us a better plan, get this thing marked out. I don't have all the exact answers for all that stuff, but it's something that came out of House leadership. So anyway. I just got to say, let's just keep working, try to get things back in order so that we can get a normal cycle back. And I think that by the end of the year, with President Trump taking the charge, I think we're going to get back to some normal spending, a budget, and try to start paying this debt down.
Yeah, and I don't mean for our first date here to be contentious, but it seems to me like if Democrats had proposed the spending bill back in December, Republicans would have been upset about it.
Well, that's the way it is up here. Nobody can get along for any length of time. And I got to tell you, it's back and forth on both sides, and I don't mind, a little contentious there. But, that's politics up here in Washington. I know that we can all do a better job, and I'm down for working hard to try to make things better. But this is what we got right now, and this is what we're going to go forward with.
So do you think you have the votes on this
I
bill?
do.
Will you be able to convince a couple of Democrats?
Yeah, I think we're going to have the votes. I think they'll be there. There may be, one or so drop off, but I believe we're going to get it done.
What about the pushback against DOJ? I mean, obviously, I think a majority of Americans want to see waste, fraud, and abuse eliminated, but the department and Elon Musk are obviously getting a lot of criticism for the cuts they're recommending at this point.
I tell you this, what I have seen, the cuts they've been making has been perfectly fine with me. So much of this money that we found out that has been going all over the world that we had no earthly idea about, we're just now finding out. What I think is for the next 6 or 8 months, things are going to be tough around here as far as budget and all this kind of money and spending and all that stuff. But I do believe in the long run that the president and his plan and his economic folks that are around him, that we're going to be able to claw that money back so we can put it to good use for the American people. And that's what I think is one of the most important things that's coming out of here. Everything always gets blown totally out of proportion in Washington as to who's right and who's wrong. Depends on who's in power.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. I mean, you're still relatively new in the halls of Congress. You ever get lost in the basement tunnels?
Oh, more than once. I tell you this, and you start walking and walking and looking. It's like, I know, I know, I came this way at some point. I sure have.
I once spent about 5 hours in the basement tunnels between meetings in D.C. and I think I had lunch and dinner in the Capitol Grill.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you, at least you won't go hungry.
Right. We're talking to Congressman Mike Ezell from the 4th here on Mornings with Richard Cross. I'm Scott Sands. There was a big story internationally today that could affect gas prices, and I think this actually may benefit the state and the coast. The Chevron deal with Venezuela has been eliminated, and I know Marco Rubio is working on that. What are you doing in Congress? What can the state do? What can we do to build offshore drilling that could benefit Mississippi energy production?
Well, if you saw last week, we passed a bill out of the House, and it was my bill. I led the charge on it, and it's gone now the Senate, and the president's going to sign it. Cutting back on some of these regulations that the Biden war on energy has just crushed the nation in so many ways, and so this is going to be a big win for not only Mississippi, but for the entire country. So we're really excited about that. It's been a one thing after another, red tape, war on energy, and this bill that with the president's going to sign, which will become law, is mine. Very, very excited about that, to be able to help so that we can get prices down, we can keep American workers working, and we can get things rolling back again with this great American opportunity that we have here to showcase the world that America's back.
Congressman, I talked about this a little bit on the show yesterday, the president's initiative, which you talked about in last week's address to Congress to rebuild the U.S. Navy, which could also be a boon for the Pascagoula area with Ingalls and Bollinger Shipbuilding. Have you looked into that? Have we seen any spending coming out of the Pentagon?
Yeah, it's going to be great news for shipbuilding in my hometown and across the nation. I'm really excited about that, since I'm the subcommittee chairman now with the Coast Guard, and we're going to really start building. We're going to start repairing. We're going to start making America great again, as the president has said so many times. Our military has got to be second to none, which we are, but we've got to continue to take care of our military, provide them with the best tools they can have at their disposal so that we can defend this great nation. And without that, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But I'm all in for building new ships and making America safe again.
Yeah, we've got about a 100 ship disadvantage to the Chinese Navy right now, and I think the Navy is critical to American national defense.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, the American fighting forces is the greatest in the world, and we're going to keep it that way. But, over the last several years, we've kind of fallen behind on our shipbuilding and some of the other things that our armed services need. I'm going to do everything within my power as a subcommittee chair of the Coast Guard to make sure that they have all the tools in the toolbox so we can defend this country.
Congressman, I know you're a Southern Miss guy. How does the baseball team look this year?
Hey, I think we're going to do pretty good. I was in a little argument yesterday with Trent Kelly, and so we went back and forth with his Ole Miss Rebels, and so we'll be watching. I'm excited about going to see baseball. We got a hometown boy from Van Cleve that plays, Carson Pato. I look forward to seeing him play every year, and it's really exciting. I knew him when he was just a kid, and now he's playing up there at Southern Miss.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Coach Huff can do with the football team this year.
Yeah, I look forward to that. I like to watch football, but I'd rather go to a baseball game. That's what I really enjoy.
It is that time of the year. We were talking earlier this morning, Congressman, about the best baseball movies. Do you have a favorite baseball movie?
Oh, Lord. I'll tell you this. I am a big fan of Mickey Mantle and the old Yankees back in the old days. And I tell you what is so exciting about this television that we have now. You can go on YouTube and you can pull up the 1964 World Series and watch Mickey Mantle and all those guys play baseball. So I got to tell you, that is actually my favorite, is watching the old World Series with Mickey Mantle.
Congressman Mike Ezell from the 4th, it's great to have you on. Thank you so much. You can find him on X at Rep Ezell. Appreciate your time, sir. Look forward to our next conversation.
Hey, thank you very much.